As a diabetic, you may often struggle to control your blood sugar. It's tricky to know what you're allowed to eat and what's going to cause your glucose levels to skyrocket. High blood sugar is when your body either doesn't make enough insulin or it doesn't use it efficiently. High blood sugar comes with a fancy scientific word, hyperglycemia. Along with this word, it also comes with many symptoms. These are ones like increased thirst, increased urination, a larger appetite, and fatigue. But not only that, it also has major long-term effects. In fact, it may cause harm to some of your body's most vital organs. Hyperglycemia has effects on your blood vessels, which may lead to diseases such as heart attack or stroke. Luckily, there's something you can control that can help keep blood sugar levels at bay: your diet. Alongside the many fantastic foods for diabetics, there are also some that cause an increase in glucose levels. That's where we come in to help. In this video, we're going to expose the top 10 worst foods for diabetics. Some of these foods are ones that you may think are healthy, but we're going to tell you the truth. These foods cause symptoms like high inflammation, higher levels of insulin production, and increased risk of obesity. But before we start, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, stay tuned to find out how you can get 2 free gifts. Up first, we've got a food that's super popular worldwide, so make sure to listen closely. Number 10, sugar-sweetened beverages. We know that sugar-sweetened beverages are delicious, but did you know that drinking too much soda may cause diabetes? In fact, a study in the American Diabetes Association journal found that drinking a sugary drink a day increased the risk of diabetes by 26%. Not only are these drinks high in sugar, but they're also very high in energy. When you have too much of this energy, your body stores it as fat. This means that drinking too many sodas may cause obesity, which is a huge risk factor for type 2 diabetes. Alongside contributing to an increased risk for the development of diabetes, sugar-sweetened drinks may also contribute to negative side effects for diabetics. According to the Journal of the Oklahoma State Medical Association, sugary drinks may reduce diabetics' ability to control their blood sugar. These beverages also contribute to something called insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is when the cells in your muscles, fat, and liver don't respond to insulin. This means that they can't use sugar from your blood for energy. Because of this, your pancreas makes more insulin, meaning your blood sugar levels rise. So make sure to stay away from sugar-sweetened beverages and only have them occasionally. Up next, we've got something that you might not know you're eating, and it's considered the worst type of fat you can consume. Number 9, trans fats. You may have heard of trans fats before and heard that you should stay away from them. But what are trans fats? Well, like we've said, it's the worst type of fat you can eat. This is because it raises your bad cholesterol levels and lowers your good cholesterol. That's right, there's such a thing as good cholesterol. In fact, your body needs it to function. LDL is bad cholesterol and HDL is good cholesterol. This is because LDL can build up and block your blood vessels, which may cause a heart attack or stroke. Whereas HDL takes extra cholesterol to your liver, where it's broken down and removed from your body. Trans fats are in foods like margarines, peanut butter, and frozen meals. As well as raising cholesterol levels, this type of fat contributes to many other things, such as inflammation, insulin resistance, and increased risk of obesity. Try to avoid trans fats by reading the nutritional information label on the back of your food. The next food on our list is one that you may have thought was healthy, but we're here to expose its secrets and tell you the truth. Number 8, dried fruit. You may have thought that all types of fruit are healthy, but this isn't the case. Most fruits are a fantastic source of minerals and nutrients, but dried fruit is very different from fresh fruit. When fruit is dried, most of its water content is evaporated. This means that all the nutrients become a lot more concentrated. This may seem like a good thing, but it also means that its sugar content becomes more concentrated, meaning dry fruit contains a lot more sugar than fresh fruit. In fact, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, while 1 cup of grapes has around 27 grams of carbs, 1 cup of raisins has 115 grams of carbs. This means that raisins have 4 times as many carbs as grapes do, and it has major effects on your blood sugar levels. Luckily, this doesn't mean you need to completely cut out dried fruits from your diet, but diabetics need to be very careful when eating them. This is because it's super easy to overdo how many you eat. So make sure to be careful of how much you're eating and try to opt for fresh fruit when you can. Up next, we've got a type of food that may be your favorite go-to takeaway, but we're sorry to say it's not fantastic for your diabetes. Number 7, fried foods. Fried chicken, fish and chips, fries, the list goes on, and they all sound delicious, right? But these foods have terrible effects on diabetes. This is because there's a special type of oil used to cook fried foods that is harmful for diabetics. We're talking about hydrogenated oil. This is a type of fat that's often used by many food manufacturers. It's used to keep foods fresher for longer and is also often used in deep fryers. Hydrogenated oil means it's oil that has had hydrogen added to it. This means it will turn into a solid fat when it's at room temperature. Also, hydrogenated oil comes with a nasty byproduct that we talked about earlier, trans fats. Hydrogenated oils may increase blood sugar and inflammation. Inflammation is when your body tries to protect you from infection through things like bacteria and viruses. High levels of inflammation may increase the risk of developing diabetes. Also, it may cause insulin resistance in diabetics. While not all fried foods contains hydrogenated oil, it's still something that is very unhealthy. Fried foods are loaded with carbs and calories, meaning they'll cause blood sugar levels to skyrocket. When you're next going out for a meal, try to avoid ordering fried foods. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about a food that's often cut up and deep fried, but whether it's deep fried or not, this high-carb vegetable may be harming your body. At number 6, potatoes. We've talked a bit about carbs already and how they raise blood sugar, but why is this? Well, when you eat carbs, they're broken down into something called simple sugars. These are carbohydrates in their most basic form. These simple sugars enter your bloodstream, causing your glucose levels to rise. When this happens, your pancreas increases the hormone insulin. This is the hormone that allows your body to use glucose for energy. When insulin is released, your cells are prompted to absorb sugar from your bloodstream. Foods that are higher in carbs raise blood sugar levels faster than your body can cope with. This makes it super tricky for your body to lower these again. Also, potatoes have a medium to high glycemic index. A glycemic index tells us how much foods will increase blood sugar levels by. The lower the glycemic index, the less it affects blood glucose. Potatoes range on the glycemic index from 53 to 111. This is because it all depends on the type of potato and how they're cooked. For example, leaving the skin on the potatoes adds more fiber, meaning it'll help reduce your blood sugar. So make sure to look into which potatoes you're eating before buying them at the grocery store. Up next, we have a food that is often advertised as being super healthy, but we're about to expose the truth. Number 5, canned fruit. We've already delved a little bit into this sweet treat by looking at dried fruit, so we're sorry to say that most canned fruit is not any better. Although canned fruit is on the American Diabetes Association's list of healthiest foods for diabetics, this is not the case for all brands. Some canned fruit brands are sneaking in ingredients that you don't know about. When you go to the supermarket, you may notice that there are so many different labels for each canned fruit. This is not because the fruit has changed, but because the liquid that the fruit comes in has changed. Lots of canned fruits are packed with added syrups, which are full of sugar. Adding syrup helps to keep the flavor, color, and the shape of the fruit. While this may seem super beneficial, it has a serious effect on your blood sugar. Luckily, canned fruit companies offer a healthier choice. You can now buy canned fruit in heavy syrup, light syrup, fruit juice, or no added sugar. This means there's still a way for diabetics to enjoy this delicious treat. Next, we're going to be delving into a meal that's usually found on a restaurant menu. Number 4, pork ribs. Did you know that how your meat is prepared has an effect on your diabetes? Diabetics should try to limit or avoid high-fat cuts of meat. Sadly, that includes pork ribs. This is because high-fat cuts of meat are very high in saturated fats. Other high-fat meats are ones like hot dogs, sausage, bacon, and bologna. We talked a bit about fats earlier when we mentioned trans fats. So what's the difference between trans fats and saturated fats? Well, like trans fats, saturated fats cause an increase of bad cholesterol. But saturated fats don't cause as many harmful effects. While trans fats should be avoided, saturated fats should be limited. Saturated fats are in foods such as baked goods, fried foods, dairy products, and red meat like pork ribs. Trans fats occur in these foods, but in very small doses, and can also be manufactured through products like hydrogenated oil. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, consuming high amounts of saturated fats may make you twice as likely to develop diabetes. This means it's time to cut back on the pork ribs and other red meat, and choose a healthier option. Coming up, we're going to be talking about one of the most common dairy products to eat in the morning. Number 3, flavored yogurt. Plain yogurt can be a fantastic choice for diabetics. In fact, plain yogurt has amazing abilities to lower blood sugar levels. It's packed with probiotics, which help to improve how your body metabolizes sugars. Also, it's rich in protein, which is a nutrient known to keep blood sugar levels at bay. As well as this, it's delicious and a fantastic breakfast choice, but flavored yogurt is quite a different story. This is because flavored yogurts are usually made from low-fat milk and they're loaded with carbs and sugar. In fact, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture Journal, 1 cup of flavored yogurt may contain almost 31 grams of sugar, meaning over 60% of its calories are from sugar. So you're not being as healthy as you think when you choose a frozen yogurt over an ice cream. Actually, studies show that frozen yogurt may contain more sugar than ice cream. But like we mentioned earlier, there's a healthy alternative. Opt for plain yogurt instead of flavored. This will help to reduce the spike in blood sugar and insulin. Up next, we're going to be talking about something that may cause both hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia. Number 2, alcohol. That's right, alcohol messes with your glucose levels so much that it may both increase and decrease them. Alcohol, like beer and sweet wine, contain carbohydrates, meaning they may raise your blood sugar. When you drink alcohol, it causes an initial sugar spike. This is when your blood sugar rises quickly and then also sharply falls after you've eaten. This means that your body will process sugar at a higher rate, causing the spike to be quickly metabolized to below what is normal. This drops down to dangerous levels, especially for people with type 1 diabetes. Also, lots of sugar spikes may cause the development of type 2 diabetes. Alcohol also has many other effects on diabetics. It stimulates your appetite, meaning you may overeat, and might mess with your blood sugar control. Alcoholic beverages are often packed with calories. This makes it super tricky to maintain a healthy weight, which is very important for diabetics. Also, it may interfere with diabetes medications such as insulin. This means alcohol is something you need to be super careful with. Make sure you only drink it occasionally and in moderation. And now, it's time for our top worst food for diabetics. Get ready for this number one food and quiet down because it's often called the silent killer. Number 1, white bread. White bread is a high-carb processed food. A study by the American Diabetes Association Journal tells us more about the silent killer. The study shows that eating white bread and other refined flour food significantly increased blood sugar levels for both type 1 and type 2 diabetics. This is because these processed foods contain very little fiber. Fiber is a type of carbohydrate that your body can't digest. There's 2 types of fiber, soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber dissolves in water and forms a gel-like material. This helps to lower blood sugar levels. Insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water and instead adds bulk to your stool to help food travel faster through your body. Fiber is a fantastic nutrient for diabetics and helps manage blood sugar. This is because it helps to slow the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream. White bread's low fiber content means it causes a huge increase in blood glucose levels. Instead of white bread, the American Diabetes Association Journal recommends whole grain bread or whole wheat bread. These breads are a fantastic, healthier alternative. So, we hope you've learned something from this video and we hope you found it helpful. But before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. But wait, we didn't forget. We'd love to offer you 2 free gifts. Step up your kitchen game with 10 incredible foods that reduce blood sugar. Also, find out what the big corporations are hiding from you with the scary truth about sugar. To get your hands on these free gifts, click the link in the description box below. So, which foods were you most surprised to see on this list? Let's talk. If you have any questions left or any suggestions for us, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching. From us here at Diabetics Talk, we hope you're having a happy and diabetes fighting day.